Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1980 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals at Royals Stadium. On the mound for Detroit is Rick Reuschel, whose record is 9-16 with a 4.86 ERA. And pitching for the Royals today is Dennis Leonard, whose record is 11-9 with a 3.74 ERA. And so we had a nice comeback win yesterday against the Royals after losing the first game to Ken Phelps and his 2 Grand Slam home runs. We are still 3.5 games back as we're keeping pace with the Yankees. The Orioles are closing in. They're only 6 games back. So it's still a tight race as we head toward the end of the month where the rosters will expand to a 40-man roster. And we'll see certain Tigers come up, like Kirk Gibson will be up. We'll see Dan Petrie back and a couple other of the Tigers that you probably know by name. So for now, we need to just kind of keep it together and try to get through this long road stretch and get back home and try to close the gap a little bit. So here's the bullpen today. I did make one change. I sent Dan Schatzeder down because he pitched 4 innings yesterday because Jim Bibby couldn't get out of the first. And so we needed to have an available arm. So I brought Dave Rucker up, who was also a lefty, who struggled in his first stint with the Tigers. And here's a lineup versus Dennis Leonard, who's a righty. So you'll see a lot of lefties in there. Carlton Fisk was listed as tired, so I took him out of the DH role and I put Champ Summers in there. Kind of mixed things up a little bit. So let's go ahead and go down the Tigers lineup as we pull the in-season stats up. Over here on the right, you'll see the 1980 Topps card that represents that player. So batting leadoff and playing second base is Sweet Lou Whitaker. Batting second and at shortstop is Alan Trammell. Batting third and at first base is Jason Thompson. Batting cleanup and in left field is Steve Kemp. Batting fifth and in right field is Gary Hancock. Batting sixth and catching is Lance Parrish. Batting seventh and DHing is Champ Summers. Batting eighth and in center field is Tony Armas. And batting ninth and at third base is Richie Hebner. And here's Dennis Leonard. He played his entire career with the Kansas City Royals. He was a second-round draft pick in 1972. The first-round draft pick for the Royals was Jamie Quirk, who was a catcher who had a very long career himself. In 1977, he led the league with 20 wins. And in 1979, he led the league with 5 shutouts. He was a very durable pitcher. As you can see, he had over 200 innings pitched in every season. In real life in 1980, he led the league with 281 innings pitched. And then in 1981, in the strike-shortened season, he led the league with 200 innings pitched in 80-some games or whatever they played, or 120 games or whatever it was. So, yeah, it was a very durable pitcher who threw a lot of complete games, and unfortunately that came back to get him eventually. He had knee problems. He missed 2 years of ball, and he made a comeback in 1985. But he was mostly ineffective, and that was his final season. So anyway, here is Sweet Lou leading off the inning. And he strikes out looking for the first out. So 1 down. Trammell's up next. And Trammell grounds it back to Leonard for the second out. So 2 down. Here's Jason Thompson. And Thompson takes a third strike looking. So 1-2-3 inning for Dennis Leonard. We head to the bottom of the first. Here's the lineup for the Kansas City Royals. Batting leadoff is Darryl Porter. Batting second is Dwight Evans. Batting third is George Brett. Batting cleanup and at first base is Ken Phelps. Batting fifth and DHing is Willie Aikens. Batting sixth and in left field is Hal McRae. Batting seventh and at shortstop is Rance Mulliniks. Batting eighth and in center field is Amos Otis. And batting ninth and at second base is Dave Chalk. And Reuschel's on the mound for us today. He's 5-7 as a Tiger with a 4.38 ERA. He hasn't pitched as bad as his record. He has 2 complete games for us, and opponents are batting .289. So he's been a little bit up and down, but overall not too bad. And he's definitely been an innings eater for us. So here's Darryl Porter leading off the bottom of the first, and there's a base hit to left field. He stretches it into a double. And the Royals have a runner on second to start the bottom half of the inning. Next up is Dwight Evans. And Evans gets the base hit up the middle. And it's 1-0 after 2 batters. Well, we had to go to a bullpen early yesterday as Bibby could not get out of the first. And we cannot have that happen again today. As Brett grounds it to first and they turn 2. So 2 down with Ken Phelps, and Phelps strikes out swinging. So the Royals take an early 1-0 lead on back-to-back hits to lead off the game. And we go to the top of the second, 1-0 Kansas City. Kemp leads off the inning by lining out to short. Next up is Gary Hancock, who hits a screamer into right field, but it's caught on the warning track by Dwight Evans. So 2 down. And here's Lance Parrish. There we go. Parrish gets a base hit to left field. He's been pretty hot lately. We're going to say no. Or should we say no? He's too slow. We're going to say no. And we'll give Champ Summers a chance here to do something good as he hits a high fly ball into right center field. And that one falls short of the warning track. So Parrish gets the first hit for the Tigers, but we can't do anything with it as we go to the bottom of the second. And Willie Mays Aikens leads off the inning. And Aikens pops it up into foul ground on the third base side. Hebner has it for the first out. Next up is Hal McRae. McRae strikes out, swinging. 2 Ks for Reuschel. And that will bring up Rance Mulliniks, who's had our number. He hasn't started every game as he grounds out to first of the 6 games we played, but he has taken it to us. Next up is Tony Armas, top of the third. And Armas gets a base hit to left field. Oh no, it's caught. I thought that was going to drop in, but Hal McRae makes the catch. So 1 down for Hebner. And Hebner hits it into right center field, and it gets to the wall as Hebner stretches it into a double. So runner on second base. Here's our first scoring opportunity of the game. A base hit by Lou should get the run in. As Whitaker grounds it to second, and Dave Chalk makes the play for the second out with Hebner on third base. So it's going to be up to Trammell to get that run in, and he strikes out swinging. So we go to the bottom of the third. Game's moving along. Amos Otis leads off the inning. And Reuschel gets Otis to pop it up to Hebner at third. And that's 1 down. Here's Dave Chalk, first appearance in the series. He's going to pop it up to short. There's 2 outs. And next up is Darryl Porter. Porter grounds it to Hebner. He fields it cleanly, and that's the third out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Reuschel. Reuschel's tough inning is always the fifth. So if we can get him to the fifth, that's where things sometimes get messy, as Thompson leads off the inning with a walk. We're going to hit and run with Steve Kemp, try to stay out of the double play. Kemp grounds it to Brett at third, and the only play is at first base since Thompson was running. So runner on second. Gary Hancock up. He's in a little bit of a slump as he grounds it to second base. He hasn't had a hit in 4 games, which is pretty unusual for him, as his batting average now sits at 300. So here's Parrish, who had the first hit of the game, and he grounds it to third. And we leave that runner stranded on third base. So we go to the bottom of the fourth. Reuschel at 40 pitches. Dwight Evans leading off. Evans grounds it to Trammell. That's 1 down. Here's Hall of Famer George Brett. In real life, in 1980, George Brett hit .390. He's hitting .308 in this simulated season. But he was batting .334 versus righties as he pops out to first. So with 2 down, here's Ken Phelps. And Phelps grounds it up the middle, but it's picked up by Whitaker for the third out. So another 1-2-3 inning. Only 4 hits combined. Royals are ahead 1-0. And Summers strikes out swinging. That's 4 Ks for Leonard. Next up is Tony Armas, who almost had a hit drop in. And he hits a high fly ball to left field, but McRae has it for the second out. So with 2 down, here's Richie Hebner. Hebner hits a fly ball to center field. And we're moving to the bottom of the fifth. 1-0 Royals. This is the inning where things usually fall apart for Reuschel. There's a couple lefties as Willie Aikens leads off, and there's a base hit to center field. So we're going to guard the lines with 2 very slow base runners with McRae and Aikens. Try to turn 2. Nope, base hit to center field, right center field. So first and third, let's pull the infield in. There's a base hit to left field. 2-0 as the Royals get 3 straight hits. And like I said, this is the inning that he always falls apart. And there's another base hit. So this will be his last batter. We're going to pull the infield in again as he's given up 4 straight hits. Dave Chalk, the number 9 hitter. He grounds it to Hebner at third, and they go 5-2-3 to turn a double play. I could walk Porter to get to Evans, and a 2-run lead is still something we can get past. I really don't want to go to the bullpen this early, so this might be a mistake. But we're going to walk Darryl Porter, especially after yesterday's game. We really just need to try to get through this inning with Reuschel and then start fresh in the 6th. But here's the moment of truth. Let's see if this is going to pay off. As Evans grounds it to short. There we go. So after giving up 4 straight hits and the unintentional walk, we get out of that inning only down by 2. As we head to the top of the 6th, let's switch over to the in-game stats. I guess Hebner would be player of the game so far with the double. That's probably about as much as good as anybody so far. As Whitaker walks, so we're gonna let Trammell swing away. I know I normally hit and run with Whitaker and Trammell, but it doesn't seem to pay off as much as I liked. Well, I guess it would have been better than this, as Trammell strikes out for the second time, 5 Ks for Leonard. And now we just got to hope for a big bomb from JT here. Nope, he misses on an outside pitch. Way outside. And it's 2 down for Kemp. And Kemp grounds it to third. And we leave that runner stranded again. So to the bottom of the 6th, we got 3 lefties coming up, which Reuschel has done well, but this is definitely keeping him on a very short leash. As Brett flips it to left, there's 1 down. Next up is Ken Phelps, 0 for 2 with a strikeout today. Phelps grounds it to Trammell. There's 2 outs. Next up, Willie Mays Aikens. Aikens grounds it to Trammell. And a 1-2-3 inning. So he handles the lefties really well. It was the righties he struggled with. And so we go to the top of the 7th. Gary Hancock leading off. It's coming down to crunch time as Hancock gets a base hit to center field, breaking his hitless streak. So runner on first. Here's Parrish. Parrish strikes out once again, and that is 7 Ks for Dennis Leonard. So let's see if Champ Summers can be a hero here. Summers grounds it right to Chalk at second. That was going to be a double play. They could only get the runner at first. So here's next up is Tony Armas. Chance to get us on the board. And he gets a base hit into center field. Will Hancock score? He does. And Armas advances to second on an error by the center fielder, Amos Otis. So 2-1. And with 1 swing of the bat, Hebner could tie it up. And Hebner grounds it to short. And that's the 3rd out. So we will not be shut out, at the very least. And it's time to take Reuschel out. Despite that 1 inning where he gave a bunch of hits. He wasn't bad, per se. Okay, 7th inning. So we're going to bring in Roger Weaver. And leading off the bottom of the 7th is Hal McRae. 1 for 2 today. McRae grounds it under the glove of Hebner for a base hit, so 1 down. Next up, Rance Mulliniks. Wow, that looked like it was ball 4, but Mulliniks takes a swing, hits it right back to Weaver. They get the lead runner at second base. So 1 down for Amos Otis, batting .301 versus righties. Solid hitter. And there's a base hit into the gap. That might score the run from first. Nope. Mulliniks has to hold at third. And we find ourselves in another tough spot. We're going to pull that infield in again. It's worked 1 out of 2 times. Let's see if we can turn another double play. Nope, that's going to be a sac fly. Should be deep enough to get Mulliniks in. It is. And the Royals get the run back. It's 3-1 now. Darryl Porter with 2 outs. Walks. So this will be Weaver's last batter, Dwight Evans, as we have a string of lefties coming up. Evans gets a base hit to left field, and the 4th run scores. So disappointing overall. We're going to bring in Rucker since he's the healthiest. And he's going to face George Brett. Brett grounds it to third. And there's a 3rd out. So it's 4-1, and we are not looking good with only 4 hits so far. Whitaker pops it up here in the top of the 8th to lead off. And it's caught by Phelps at first. So 1 down. Tram's up next. Trammell walks. So it's still got a chance. Trammell at first base. We're going to let Thompson swing away. He strikes out for the 8th K for Dennis Leonard. Leonard is the ace of the Kansas City staff, and he's looking like it today, as Kemp flies out to center field, and that's the third out. So to the bottom of the eighth. Not looking good. We're leaving Rucker in there to face the lefties. Ken Phelps leading off. And Rucker promptly walks Phelps. One down for Willie Mays Aikens. Hits lefties pretty good at 270 clip. He grounds it to second base, and we turn two. Second double play of the game. We're going to let Rucker pitch to McRae to get to Mullenix if we have to. And McRae flies to center field for the third out. So to the top of the ninth, it's do or die time. Gary Hancock leading off the inning. Got a base hit his last time through the order. And he's going to get another one here as he bloops it over the shortstop. It falls in. And we're going to hold him at first base. Okay, and Leonard is tired at 128 pitches. Okay, so we're going to take out Hancock, and we're going to bring in somebody a little faster. We're not going to bring in Baylor. We'll bring in Brookins. We want to stay out of the double play, but we're going to let Parrish swing away. And he strikes out for the ninth K. Wow, Leonard is really in control. Sorry about that. So there's one down. Here's Champ Summers. Hasn't done anything today. 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And he's going to hit a fly ball to right center field. And it's caught by the right fielder. So last but not least, here's Tony Armas, 2 down, runner at first base. And Brookins goes to second on defensive indifference. Not a stolen base. And on an 0-2 count, Armas pops it out to second base. And that ends the game. Very disappointing as we lose 4-1. And we lose 2 out of 3 to the Royals. And we find ourselves still 3.5 games back. Everybody lost. Everybody wins, everybody loses. So we're holding our ground. Let's take a look at transactions. The Angels give Don Ossie a 3-year extension for $140,000, but that's it. Okay, let's pull up the box score. We'll get out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. This is game 130, so we only have 32 more to go. Another month of baseball, and it'll be playoff time, hopefully. Player of the game, I guess it has to be Hancock, right? I mean, he got 2 hits. So we're going to give it to Hancock. Hebner got his 22nd double. Reuschel takes his 17th loss. That has to be the league lead. And Dennis Leonard gets a complete game win. Not a surprise. That's what he does. 12-9 on the year. And that's it from Royal Stadium. We're going to Anaheim next. So we'll see you tomorrow from California. Have a good one.